breaking news that could dramatically shift the landscape of the Western Conference. I've just received exclusive information from sources deeply embedded within both organizations that the Los Angeles Lakers are quietly reigniting trade talks with the Charlotte Hornets for their young center, Mark Williams. This isn't just another recycled rumor. This is legitimate intel that the Lakers front office has identified Williams as their primary target to address their glaring weakness at the center position. What makes this story absolutely fascinating is that we almost saw this deal completed at the trade deadline before a failed physical derailed everything. Now, with the offseason approaching, both teams appear ready to revisit those discussions with fresh energy and determination. Think about what this could mean for a Lakers team, desperate to maximize their championship window with LeBron and Luka. Williams represents everything they need: youth, athleticism, rim protection, and untapped potential that could flourish alongside their established stars. At just 22 years old with a monstrous 7.7 wingspan, Williams could be the defensive anchor this Lakers team has desperately needed, while providing the vertical spacing that would create even more driving lanes for their playmakers. I've personally watched Williams develop over the past 2 seasons, and let me tell you, this kid has true star potential if placed in the right situation. The most compelling aspect of this developing story comes directly from Williams himself, who displayed remarkable candor during his exit interviews with Charlotte media. When asked point-blank about the possibility of being traded this summer, Williams responded with surprising openness. "Do I think so? I mean, maybe." That level of honesty from an NBA player about potentially being moved is exceptionally rare, and speaks volumes about his mindset. Williams further elaborated on how the near trade to Los Angeles affected his perspective. "It's given me a new perspective on understanding it's a business," he acknowledged, clearly processing the emotional reality of almost being uprooted mid-season. What's particularly revealing is Williams's additional comment. "I can't say 100% yet. Obviously, there's a good chance of that." Multiple league executives I've spoken with interpret this statement as Williams essentially preparing himself and Charlotte fans for an inevitable summer move. Sources close to the Lakers organization tell me that Rob Pelinka and his front office viewed Williams' comments as an encouraging sign that the young center would welcome a change of scenery and the opportunity to compete for championships in purple and gold. What truly separates this from typical trade speculation is the perfect timing and fit for both franchises. For the Hornets, this represents a critical inflection point in their rebuilding timeline. Charlotte has assembled what they internally refer to as their core 4, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and Williams. But injuries have prevented this group from establishing any meaningful continuity. The team was forced to utilize an astonishing 45 different starting lineups throughout the 2024-25 season, making it virtually impossible to evaluate their potential as a collective unit. Williams himself appeared in a career-high 44 games, but was limited by injury management protocols that prevented him from showcasing his full capabilities. During his exit interview, Williams expressed measured optimism about the core 4's potential. "Didn't have the continuity with all of the guys, but when we're all out there, it's a scary sight," he reflected. "When we're all going, it's special. Anticipating a year of full health for everybody is when we can show that." However, sources within Charlotte's front office question whether waiting for this theoretical potential to materialize is worth the opportunity cost of passing on valuable trade assets now. The fundamental question facing the Hornets' decision-makers is straightforward but difficult. Is this current core capable of eventually competing with the Eastern Conference elite? Or would they be better served by accelerating their rebuild through additional draft capital and prospects? For the Lakers, this potential acquisition represents the missing piece that could transform their entire defensive identity overnight. Williams' elite shot blocking, rebounding prowess, and switchability on the perimeter would address their most glaring weaknesses while adding youth to an aging roster. His age, 22, aligns perfectly with their dual timeline strategy. competing now with LeBron while building sustainable success around Luka for the future. What makes this situation particularly intriguing from a human perspective is that Williams has already experienced the emotional rollercoaster of nearly being traded once before, that psychological preparation might actually facilitate a smoother transition to Los Angeles if a deal materializes this summer. Throughout this entire process, Williams has demonstrated remarkable professionalism and maturity, focusing on his development rather than circumstances beyond his control. His approach has been exemplary, a source close to the Hornets organization told me. Many young players would have checked out mentally after learning they were almost traded, but Mark continued working hard and supporting his teammates. As the offseason unfolds, this developing situation will undoubtedly be one of the most fascinating storylines to monitor. The decisions made in the coming weeks will profoundly impact the trajectories of both franchises. For Lakers fans, Williams represents the exact prototype of center the team has desperately needed. Young, athletic, defensive-minded, and with tremendous upside still waiting to be unlocked. His addition would create fascinating lineup possibilities and potentially vault Los Angeles back into serious championship contention. What do you think about this potential move? Would Mark Williams be the perfect center to complement LeBron, AD, and Luka? Or should the Lakers explore other options to address their needs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get a real discussion going about how this move could reshape the Western Conference power structure. This is the kind of basketball conversation I live for.